on and go live and see who's going to come visit. That's where the camera is. Okay. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey, y'all. Looks like it's going to be a busy night tonight. Hello, hello. Hi, Inday. Eileen. Nice to see you. I'm pretty good. I had a pretty easy day of it today. Didn't have much that needed to get done. Oh, you have a live too? Yeah, yeah, that's right. I was looking at your live earlier. Okay, what happened to my chat now? There it is. There we go. Oh, wow. We got a big crowd. We got 13 people here. Well, take a moment and say hello, folks. I mean, if you can read my channel, hey, you there, also known as Neil. So I'm hoping to see, some of the people I know and I'm familiar with. Okay, we'll see you later, Eileen. Welcome, welcome. I don't think I've ever seen this many people come into my live stream. Thank you for coming. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, just tell me what you want to talk about. I'm hoping in the very near future to start doing collab streams with Filipinas, discussing, the challenges, pitfalls, and rewards of, having a relationship with a Filipina. Somehow my tablet does things a little differently. It doesn't leave the chat displayed all the time. Something I guess I got to get used to. But I guess nobody wants to say hello to me. They just want to sit there and look at my pretty face. Hello, Zally. I'm trying to use the three different means that I have. So this time I'm using my tablet to do my live stream. I've done one on my phone, a few on my computer. And the tablet, of course, does it now in vertical mode, in portrait, and doesn't give me a choice. I guess that's because it's on an Android platform and not on the computer. Hello, Francesco. Thank you for stopping by. I'm doing fairly well. How about yourself? Where are you from there, Francesco? And how old are you? Rocker, hey buddy, how's it going? I caught a couple of Isa's shorts, her short videos today. And that must have been a hell of a swing for her going from Japan to Great Britain. I am going to open my phone and go in with my have my stream there. What was that, JS? The cost of living is, yeah, oh yeah, shit, yeah. Japan, a lot of stuff is now. Is it more expensive in Japan or cheaper in Japan? Oh yeah, yeah, so much more. Yeah, nothing in Great Britain is cheap. I've been there once, and that was back in 2002. Man, shit was expensive back then. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know Taiwan is a lot cheaper. I have a nephew that is a school teacher in Kaohsiung. Um, he was there I think it was 5 years. Swore when he left, he wasn't going to even look at a Taiwanese girl. 3 years later, he's getting married. Then he came back to Canada for a bit. I think he was back to Canada for 3 years, finished up his bachelor's, got his master's, and went back in a much better position with the same school. So where was Isa in Taiwan then? Hang on, let me put on some eyeballs. Oh, close to Taipei. Hello, is that Vermaldev? Vemulov. That's an interesting name. Welcome to my channel. Ooh. No, Mark, I'm not looking for a donation. Just looking to talk. Welcome. Oh, I see that, Sri Devi. I went to your channel and saw your first name. Saw that you're a very pretty lady. Hello, Marissa. Welcome to my live stream. I haven't seen Abby yet. Usually she's here pretty quick. Yeah, I haven't put PayPal or anything in my description. I make pretty good money at what I do. This is just, to make connection with people. Otherwise, I'm sitting here, bored out of my coconut. Maybe later I'll go for the donation stuff. Yes, JS, she is a pretty guapa. I'm good, Marissa. I had an easy, light work day today. It's Friday, so we usually my favorite hobby, playing with cars. I work on buildings all day, that is my job, and my hobby is messing around with cars. Oh, I can't believe the number of people that are in my stream. I'm glad to see so many people visiting me. I appreciate your time, and yeah, don't be scared to comment, even if you want to just say you're an asshole. But at least then I know you're alive. Some of the other things that I do, Francesco, is I follow a lot of the um, YouTube channels of guys that are out there challenging and using the rights, that are in the part of the First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, and Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. I have great respect for those guys. It takes mighty big kahunas to risk their, freedom to be doing that. Because all too often, the cops will get pissed off and arrest them, and yeah, then they're fighting the system. the thing is, the government's always trying to take away our rights because they don't want us to really know the power that we have as people. In Canada, we have the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. The Americans have the Bill of Rights. Then there's United Nations Bill of Rights. And those rights are pretty much universal around the world. But you wouldn't know it by the way, so many people who work and are the foundation of the working class of the world, they're just so blinded by what, well, the government tells us to do this and the government tells us to do that, and they just follow along. And the sad part is a lot of that comes from what they were taught in church. Because, everybody, of course, when you go to church, you read the Bible, or at least, the priest or pastor or, the religious leader will, rocker sheep, right? The big one, the biggest one, about 15 years ago, my wife, was challenging, me on different things and opening my eyes to what I had been taught growing up. So I started with one question that I typed into Google because, well, let's ask Google. Why do I have to go to church on Sunday? And I found this article. It says, the Bible doesn't tell us we have to go to church on Sunday. And I went, what? That's not what I was told. For 40 some years, I had been taught you have to go to church on Sunday. And actually the church that, my family belonged to and I grew up in, it was, you have to go to church twice on Sunday, not just once, twice on Sunday. It's like, okay, so if I don't have to go, let's see those verses. So I researched, and then that brought me to another verse. It's Romans 13:1. And in the King James or English version, it says, let every man be subject to the governing authorities, for all authority is from God, and those who, disobey that authority disobey God. And the church hammers that one, right? Oh, you have to obey the government. Well, that's actually not what was written in the original text. It was changed by the Pope that created the Latin Vulgate. That is the version of the Bible that was translated into English and every other language. But when the Latin Vulgate was created, that Pope went around to all the different religious leaders and asked a question, right? Or Pope said to the governors and the kings, I can give you subservient people that'll do whatever you bid, but you have to pay me homage. In other words, it's going to cost you. And the king said, sure, we'll go for that. And so that's when it got changed, because in the Greek version, it basically comes out that we are to strive to excel in protecting and defending liberty, not government. And we are to protect liberty, not government. So, they switched it around. It sounds perfectly fine, that we have to obey government. But if you really think about it, why would Paul write that in his letter to the Corinthians, or to the Romans, sorry, when he basically went like man to the Roman government and got himself thrown in jail? Does that sound like, you know, a man of integrity? Say one thing, do another? Not to me. A man of integrity does what he says, and his words align with his actions, right? And Paul, being a man of God, would be a man of integrity. So those words in Romans 13 don't line up with Paul's actions at all. I'm sorry for rambling, but hey, that's what I'm here to do, is just ramble. The Italian culture and history, actually, Francesco, I have never been to Italy, but I know a lot of Italian people. I grew up in cities and where there was a large Italian community. I had friends that are Italian. I spent many, you know, days in their homes, and I learned how to, you know, cook their cuisine as well. So, you know, the culture and the history of Italy is very rich, and I like it. I mean, I'd love to know more about it, but having never, you know, been to the country, I've never experienced it. You're from Italy. You live at Milan. Oh, nice. One, you know, I would love to be able to have the opportunity to visit Italy, but until now, that just hasn't happened. I've been to Holland, which is my country of ancestry. I've been there many times. And one time with my first wife, we did a 1 week tour where we got in a car, we drove through Belgium into France, took the ferry across to England, spent 2 days in England, or a full day in England, and then drove back. And it was great. Unfortunately, you know, when you're recovering financially from bad marriages, you know, the desire, the ability to travel around the world gets hampered. You find yourself fighting just to keep your head above water, and keeping food in your belly, and, you know, surviving. So, Francesco, one of my dreams, or there are my plans, you know, in the next 5 years, I'll be retiring. I'm over 60. So I plan to retire, but I'm going to retire in the Philippines. I live in northwestern Ontario of Canada, and there are weeks here that we are in the minus 40 Celsius range. And I have a lot of injuries in my big joints of my body. So my shoulders, my elbows, my knees, and my hips. And when it gets cold, it gets so incredibly painful. and I have to be very, very, very protective. It's like my left shoulder. If the cold gets into that shoulder, I cannot move my left arm. I couldn't pick up a dime if I tried to. So, I've got to overwrap that shoulder to keep it warm. But in order to overwrap, I wind up wrapping my whole body, and then the rest of me's overheating because I got a good furnace, but it just doesn't keep the shoulder warm enough. I do not have any grandsons, Francesca, but I started my kids are young. So, my sister that's 2 years younger than me has grandkids the same age as my children. My oldest was born when I was 40 already. So I have a 21-year-old son. Unfortunately, I don't see him because when his mother left almost 10 years ago, she was very bitter against me. And over the course of the next 2 years, she was able to convince my son not to spend any time with his dad, even though I went out and I, bought him a truck that would be his truck when he turned 16, was legal to drive. That would be his truck. The one thing was the truck needed work to be ready to be put on the road and used. I would do it with him, but not for him, right? So, the truck is still there, and the offer is still good. If you want the truck, we will fix it together, but I'm not going to do it for you. I'll teach you how to do it rather than just do it for you and you don't know how to do jack crap. Oh. Because honestly, if you're going to drive a car, you should at least know the basics like changing a tire, checking your oil and radiator fluid and power steering fluid, transmission fluid. When I grew up, my dad barely knew how to do that stuff, but I was lucky. I had courses at high school that I took and I learned, but I also had the eagerness to learn. So every time I had an opportunity, I would, I'd watch mechanics fix things. If they were doing brakes on my truck, I'd be standing there right there and watching them do the brakes. Or now with the internet, I'll watch a YouTube video. Oh, okay, that's how you do it, and I'll go and do it. Because quite honestly, I don't know everything, but I sure do know quite a bit. I just had a notification come across my screen that one of the Filipinas I watch, Filipina in Florida, has gone live. Yeah, Rocker, you got that right. Yeah. Hey, nowadays, if you want to have a vehicle that nobody will steal, just buy yourself one with a manual transmission. Nobody knows how to drive them anymore. Personally, I'll take a manual transmission over an automatic every day of the week. Good night, Vemula. Thank you for visiting. Yeah, now Rocker with those cars coming out self-driving, and I've watched a couple of people go to the cities where they've got these robot taxis. It's it's actually quite funny to watch some of the problems that the systems have when shit goes a little wrong. They don't know how to figure it out. Yeah, driving a manual, especially when is great, especially when you get into situations like mud, snow. An automatic transmission will not let you start off in second gear. But with a manual transmission, you can put it in second gear. And the beauty of it is you don't spin out. You can get the traction to pull out. You got, horsepower, but no torque. You'd love the one I'm working on right now, JS. I'm trying to find a front end from a vehicle from the 50s, and I just need the front clip because I've got a newer, I think it was a 2014 Dodge Caravan with the stow and go seats with a dead driveline. The engine was shot, right? Transmission wasn't far behind, but the body was in really good shape. And I had an 06 Caravan. The stow and go seats were nice. The 6-way power adjustable seat, freaking amazing. Nice headroom, nice layout, comfortable as hell to drive. And if I was driving alone and I have a pillow and a blanket in the truck, and then I could just sleep in the back of the van and not take a motel. So I decided, okay, I've got a 1984 F-250 4x4, manual transmission, 5-speed, manual gearbox, transfer case, manual locking hubs, and a 6.9 IDI diesel engine. Those engines will pull over a house and not stop. Hello, Daniel Rodriguez. Welcome to my channel. So I'm marrying that Caravan with stow and go on top of the Ford frame, and I want that nice, those rounded lines of a 1950s vehicle to finish the front end over top. Yeah. Have you ever seen Bleepin' Jeep's channel? They did a Jaguar into a 4x4 rock crawler. I'm going to make mine, a street legal cruising machine. Nothing crazy, stupid. Just, I'll be able to go off road, do the work that I do because it's got the manual transfer case. I can tow it when I get my motorhome. That I will be, it won't be exactly like what you class as a motorhome. It'll be a sleeping unit with my tools behind me for when I'm working on the road, and then I can just take my little pickup truck along on a tow bar. When I get there, I park the big one, and if I got to run around, I run around in the little truck. And they're all diesel. And whereabouts do you live in the States there, Rocker? Right, West Tennessee. You're originally from Texas, though, right? West Tennessee. I've been down there, but it's been a long time. I used to run semi, and I'd be down into Tennessee a lot. Yeah, 93 needs. Oh, nice V6 5-speed. Yeah, absolutely. Years ago, I had a 84 Nissan King Cab diesel. Daniel, one of the best trucks I ever had. That thing went forever on a tank of fuel and never broke down. The only problem I ever had with it was when I got rear-ended in a hard brake. It went down and it bent the front steer link. But fortunately, the insurance company covered the whole fucking works. New bumper, fixed the box, and replaced the front steering with an alignment, and 2 front new tires needed to do the alignment. But that diesel engine, I was getting well over 60 miles to the gallon. As a matter of fact, that truck that I was talking about that I bought for my son was an 85 King Cab diesel. And I might just go and pick it up at the house and bring it here to the shop where I primarily live, and rebuild it, because he doesn't want anything to do with his old man. Fuck him. I'll fix it up and use it for myself. Oh yeah, yep. But fortunately, my damage wasn't that severe, and it was, back then those trucks were still worth a pile of money. Let's see, that was in 95. Yeah, bought it back from the, and was it branded when you bought it back from the insurance company, or they just let you fix it and put it back on the road? I'm not doing lives regularly, Francesco. Just usually it'll be in my late evening, so my 6 p.m. ish hour, when my favorite Filipina is not available. So I'll just go on and talk. Oh, you had to straighten the frame, yeah. Yeah, with mine, I didn't have the frame. It was the bumper, and she got the corners and the tailgate of the box, and of course the force bent the cross link of the steering, so the whole front end had to be gone through. But there was a cross link, and then brand new tires, because it had to have an alignment, and the tires were not. Hey, Blue Book's not bad. What did it cost you to fix the truck up? I was lucky when I got hit. It was square on the back end. And the stupid thing is, it was a cop that hit me. They were following too close, and an animal ran out across the road in front of me. I hit the frickin' brakes. So I was hard on the brakes, and they just rammed right up my ass. They rode off their car, a Honda Civic. That's not bad. Last night I was looking online on Facebook Marketplace. I might be making a drive out to Washington and Oregon. I found 4 late 80s Nissan pickup trucks. The 4 of them total will be under $5,000, and they're only one of them is not running. But it comes with a replacement engine because the engine was run out of oil, so it seized up. Yep. Yeah, and I suppose you fixed it up, after that accident. You're still driving it today too, right? Wow, 8,900. Nice. So you were able to fix it back up for 2,500. 2,500 bucks, and you left $6,000 in your pocket. Not bad. And still driving it 14 years later, or 16 years later. Okay. Yeah, oh, Jesus, it is too. Yep. Nothing runs like a Nissan. Where are you located, Daniel? Yeah, Rocker, Toyotas, Nissans, either one. I've got my first wife. She loved her Toyota. She had a Celica SR5 Fastback. That fucking thing was fast. Currently in London, England, or London, Ontario, or London, Kentucky. Nice. Yeah, Tacomas are a nice truck too. There's another YouTube channel where they use a Tacoma for a off-road recovery vehicle. Fab Rats. They call it the Taco. They've given it a bit of a lift. They put Dana axles under it. I'm pretty sure. And yeah, I mean, it's still the Tacoma frame and everything. Oh, your truck is in Houston. Well, what the shit are you doing in London? You left your truck behind? England. Hanging out with the Limeys. There you go. Yeah. Fab Rats, Mats, Robbie, Chad Fab, Merlin's Old School Garage. Who are some of the other ones? Oh, Casey Liddell. I like Casey Liddell. He's from Oregon. Colt, yep. Colt builds it. He's working on a mini wrecker for Matt right now. You work security. Nice. So you're in London getting paid. Sweet. I guess then it's a short-term gig over there, Daniel. Let me guess, you're ex-military, so. Oh, geez. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, when you're working security, you go where your, you know, person goes. You don't ask questions, you just follow. Yep. I kind of figured you were retired from one of the military branches. I have a cousin that's retired USMC, or actually a cousin, and my brother-in-law is retired USMC as well. I think it's Camp Pendleton is out in Seattle area, and that's where they do the anti-terrorism training. That whole anti-terrorism program was written by my brother-in-law. The initial one. Yeah, I'm sure it's been updated a bit since, but he wrote that thing way back in when the first attack was done on the World Trade Centers, the unsuccessful one, before they flew the planes into them in 01. And when that happened, he was still in the Marines. I could never have gotten into any of the armed forces. I've had medical conditions that would have precluded me from ever being able to serve. Well, guys, I really appreciate you coming and visiting, hanging out. But it's just about that time when my regular Filipina is going to be heading into her live stream, and I want to get some food before that happens. So I'm going to head to my kitchen and do some cooking. Not much, cooking when you're cooking for yourself. Most of my cooking comes out of a bag from Walmart and goes into, the little countertop oven, or fry something up. First 5 years in the Navy. Oh yeah, you were deployed. What were you on? Of course, you would have been on a vessel. Okay, thanks, JS. Say hello to Isa for me. I'm sure you'll be talking to her. Although it's 1 o'clock in the morning for her now. I haven't been in Celeste's channel for a while. Yeah, she just bounced through and wasn't talking to me much. But I've been talking to another lady from north of Manila. Okay, guys, thank you for your time. Have a great rest of your day. I mean, Daniel, if you're in London, England, then it's pushing just after 1 o'clock for you as well, if I remember my time zones correctly. And Rocker, you're in the same time zone I am, so you're 7:06 as well. Aircraft carrier, that must have been a blast. We'll see you guys later. Have a great day.